this is a real honor for me. You know, I've been lucky to introduce people that have been my idols, introduce people that I heard of and never met. But this is really a great pleasure to have her here. And as I kept thinking about what I would say, and you could say a lot, but I summed it up in words that would make my grandmother proud. She is the fucking champion of the American people.
Good to be here. Okay, good to be here. Good to be here. Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Shonda. Thank you, everyone who organized this, and thank you all for being here today. You know, I just want to say, I know that Barney Frank is going to be the keynote speaker tonight. And so on behalf of my good friend Barney and myself, we want to thank California for offering to host the Massachusetts Democratic State Party Convention in Anaheim this year. Really nice of you guys. Now, I've been told that when Senator Ted Kennedy used to come to speak to the California Democrats, that he would actually bring a mariachi band up on stage with him and sing to all of you. So I have to start this today by apologizing. My staff will not let me sing in public. We are all better off because of that. You know, it is good to be in California this morning, and it's not just because both of my kids and all three of my beautiful grandchildren live out here in California. It's family. Now, I'm glad to be here because when I am looking for good, strong partners to fight alongside me for working families, I know I can count on California Democrats. Can I count on you? Yeah, good. You know, 4 years ago, just 4 years ago, some people thought that I ought to be running for the United States Senate. But I gotta tell you, I had no plans to run for office. I mean, really. When my job setting up the new consumer agency was over, people asked me what I was gonna do next, and I told them, I'm going to Legoland. And it's true. I herded up the children and the grandchildren and the nieces and the nephews and did exactly that. But I want to say, in running for the Senate, your senators were terrific to me. From the very beginning and every step along the way, they've been there with encouragement, with good advice, with friendship. I am very grateful to Dianne Feinstein and Barbara Boxer. Very grateful. Thank you. I also owe a big debt to a California Congresswoman. She is the top Democrat on the House Financial Services Committee, and that has put her on the front lines in the battle with Republicans as they try to help out their big-time Wall Street friends. We are all lucky to have such a tough fighter on our side. Thank you, Maxine Waters. Thank you. Yep, go Maxine. Yes. And then there is our leader, or as I like to think of her, the once and future speaker. Nancy Pelosi's the best. Think about what it's like to stand up to the House Republicans day in and day out, to fight back as they vote over and over and over again to repeal health care, over and over to roll back women's rights, over and over to undercut financial regulation. Nancy is caught in the worst sequel ever to Groundhog Day. But she fights for us on student loans, on protecting financial reforms, on defending America's workers. We're counting on you, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you. You bet. And there's one more person that I want to give a shout out to. Your Attorney General, Kamala Harris. I've got a long-term personal relationship with Kamala. When the housing bubble burst and Californians were hit particularly hard, I was working to set up the new consumer agency to protect people who'd been tricked and trapped by those lousy mortgages. I worked with Kamala up close and personal. We were in the trenches together, and the big banks were fighting us tooth and nail. That woman was fearless. And then, when I ran for the Senate, she showed up in Massachusetts and helped me build a victory. Kamala is a real friend, and I am deeply grateful to her. She's terrific. This country needs strong leaders like Diane and Barbara and Maxine and Nancy and Kamala. And I'll tell you why. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. The game is rigged. Washington works great if you're a millionaire or a billionaire or a giant corporation. Washington works great if you can afford to hire armies of lobbyists and lawyers. But Washington is not working for California families, and it's not working for America's families. And we're here to change that. That's right. It wasn't always this way. For much of the 20th century, we built an America where, year after year, workers saw higher incomes. They bought houses and cars, and they got their own little piece of the American dream. We built opportunity, education for our kids, roads and bridges and power, so businesses could grow and get their goods to market and build good jobs here in America. Research, so that we would have a giant pipeline of ideas that would permit our children and our grandchildren to build a world we could only dream about. Now, we weren't perfect. Women, blacks, Latinos, Asians, gays, lesbians, transgendered people, we were unwelcome in many places, but this country was headed in the right direction. We were growing an economy, and we were bending it toward more opportunity for everyone. And in those years, from 1935 to 1980, the 90% of America, everybody not in the top 10%, the 90% of America got 70% of all the income growth in this country. Think about that. We were a country where families in the middle, families below the middle, even poor families, had a fighting chance to build something. We were remarkable. And then it changed. The change started right here. the epicenter of the political earthquake that shook America's middle class to its core, started right here in California, right here with your former governor, Ronald Reagan. For more than 30 years, starting with Ronald Reagan, the Republican leadership latched onto an idea it called trickle-down economics. And then they got to work. They attacked wages, they attacked pensions, they attacked health care, they attacked unions, they attacked education, they attacked science, they attacked financial regulation, they attacked all the pieces that had built America's great middle class coming out of the Great Depression. Why? Why? Why go after hardworking people? Why go after seniors and students? Why? To give bigger breaks and more special deals to those at the top. Trickle-down economics was nothing more than political cover for helping the rich and powerful get richer and more powerful. Trickle-down economics cut the legs out from underneath America's working class. And those policies didn't end just in the 1980s. I want you to just look at the Republicans who are running for president in 2016. Sometimes I listen to them and I think, whoa, you didn't go to Legoland. You went to Fantasyland. I mean, really. Some of these guys took one spin too many on the teacups ride just across the street. Last week, just last week, Jeb Bush said that the way we'll fix devastating problems in Baltimore is, wait for it, to blame the teachers. Now that's an exercise in Republican leadership. Ignore a problem that needs fixing and then point fingers at the people who are actually trying to make it better. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker recently announced a $300 million cut to the University of Wisconsin system. That is 13% of their public university system's budget, and said, and I want to quote on this plan protects the taxpayers and allows for a stronger University of Wisconsin system in the future. There's another exercise in Republican leadership. Cut taxes for billionaires and giant corporations, and then say, there's no more money for anyone else. Don't believe me? Check out Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul has justified voting against the minimum wage by saying, and I want to quote here, it's a fact, an economic fact, that when you raise the minimum wage, the people that are hurt the worst are minorities and kids. You heard me correctly, hurt. And there's another exercise in Republican leadership. Crush people's opportunity, then tell them how lucky they are to work full-time and still live in poverty. Tell them those low wages are good for their children. That's ugly. You know, the Republicans keep pushing the same ideas over and over, pretty much no matter what kind of problem they're trying to solve. Addressing challenges in our cities, building our higher education system, no matter what problem they're trying to solve, the answer is always the same. Lower taxes for the rich and turn loose the biggest corporations to do whatever they want. And what's been the result? Remember how we talked about just a minute ago from 1935 to 1980, the 90% got 70% of all income growth? Well, from 1980 to 2012, the era of Republican economic ideas, how much did the 90% get? Answer, 90% got nothing, none, zero. All of the income growth went to the top 10%. This country isn't working for working people, it's working only for those at the top. That's not the American dream, that's the American nightmare. Now, we can whine about it, we can whimper about it, or we can fight back. Me, I'm fighting back. I'm fighting back. Are you ready? That's right. And that's right. And here's the best part. It's not just us. America is ready to fight back. That's right. When we stand together, when we make it clear what we believe in, America is ready to stand with us. Why? Because this isn't just about politics. This is about values. This is about our vision of who we are and what kind of a country we're going to build. So let's remind ourselves what we get up for every day, what we believe in all the way down to our toes. We believe that the law applies to everyone, and that includes fancy executives and Wall Street banks. Accountability, we're willing to fight for it. We believe in science, that climate change is real, and it is our moral duty to protect this planet so our children and grandchildren can survive. Yes, ma'am. And we're ready to fight for it. We believe that no one should work full-time and still live in poverty, and that means raising the minimum wage, and we're willing to fight for it. We believe that workers have a right to come together, to bargain together, to fight as unions, and to rebuild America's middle class. And we're willing to fight for it. You bet. We believe that every kid should have a chance to get a good education without getting crushed by student loan debt. And we're willing to fight for it. Yes. We believe that after a lifetime of hard work, seniors should retire with dignity, and that means protecting Social Security, Medicare, and pensions, and we're willing to fight for it. We believe that immigration has made this country strong, and that means comprehensive immigration reform, not later, now. And we're willing to fight for it. You bet. I can't believe I have to say this one in 2014. But we believe in equal pay for equal work and a woman's right to decisions over her own body. And we're willing to fight for it. Yes. Yes, we believe that equal means equal, and that's true in marriage, it's true in the workplace, and we're willing to fight for it. We believe America should not sign trade deals that benefit huge corporations and leave workers in the dirt. Corporations shouldn't be allowed to dominate secret trade negotiations. Before Congress votes on any trade deal, we want to see that trade deal out in public, and we're willing to fight for it. You bet. Now, I could go on like this all day. I could. But let me do just one more. We believe that corporations are not people. We will overturn Citizens United, and we will make this great nation once again work for people. That's it. That's right. That's right. Yes. Now, I know I've only been in the Senate for a few years, but I'm not naive. Call me a lot of things, but that's not one of them. I know Washington is a tough place, but I also know this: we don't win what we don't fight for. So that's why I'm here with you. We need Democrats. We need people who share our values, people who believe that we can build a future, not just for some of our children, but a future for all of our children. This next election is up to you. It's up to the people in this room, because you are the heart and the soul and the living spark of the Democratic Party. You are the ones who will make change happen. So this one's from me. From my part to yours. I truly believe if we fight for our values, we will win. And I have only one question to ask you. Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to fight?